Hey, and welcome to another Geek Out commentary. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
And remember that one time where we did October Halloween Horror Month?
Yeah.
All those many months ago.
Oh, yes, many moons. I think we should do it again.
Are we back?
We are, and we're going to be doing. We're back in the Halloween horror groove. And yeah, we're going to do another round robin thing, and then build to another thing that isn't Ghostbusters 1 and 2, and you'll find out in a matter of weeks. But yeah, so for my pick for this year's October Halloween Horror Month, my personal favorite of the Evil Dead trilogy, Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
You guys, Jake, I know you're an Evil Dead 2 guy?
That's my favorite one, yeah. I like all of them, but yeah, Evil Dead 2 is my favorite.
And Chris, you would go...
Evil Dead 2 as well.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about...
I mean, I love Army of Darkness, and like many people, this was my introduction to the series.
Sure.
But as more of a traditional horror fan, I would put the kind of like satire of horror movies that Evil Dead 2 ended up being a little bit above whatever ended up being Army of Darkness.
This kind of like horror fantasy mashup with this film. I don't know, like between this and like Shaun of the Dead, I guess I'm more into the kind of more comedic. Like there's still horror elements in both of those films, but I always like a little fun with it.
Yeah, I mean, like with the original Evil Dead, I don't think the point was ever to be really funny,
No.
but it was so over the top that it happened to be funny at parts. It's still like, super gross and scary.
Yeah.
The second one had the perfect mix of horror and comedy. And this one has elements of it, like Sam was saying, but definitely the scale is tipped to more the slapstick, Three Stooges type kind of humor.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still that in Evil Dead 2 as well, but this is one, it's definitely more, I'd say like 60-40, even 70-30 for the comedy over the horror.
And originally, apparently I read somewhere, Sam Raimi originally wanted Evil Dead 2 to be what the plot of Army of Darkness was, Ash in the Dark Ages. But the first Evil Dead was such a low budget, under the wire thing. They were like, well, let's just kind of let's continue it. But I mean, you watch Evil Dead and it's kind of a rehash of the first film. Certainly for the opening.
Yeah.
Yes.
The way that I've heard it explained is that it's basically the way that the first Evil Dead ends is it's the morning after he's had to endure all of his friends dying, and he steps outside, and the camera runs at him to imply that the evil still gets him. And then in the second one, even though it starts out with just showing him and his girlfriend going up to the cabin, within like 10 minutes she's dead, and he is like out front on the porch, and then you see the camera rush at him and like run him through the house, through the forest and stuff like that.
It becomes the Cenobite, yeah.
Yeah. And
or not
that's
Cenobite, that's Hellraiser shit.
the
Deadite, yeah.
Yeah. I was about to say, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
But like that's kind of like supposed to be where the two kind of meet. In that moment where, the thing's dragging him.
That's the sync point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only difference is that, it kind of retconned out the other two friends.
Yeah. But yeah, it was really the Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell had always wanted to do a follow-up to Evil Dead 2. And they, like I was saying, Raimi wanted to set it in the Dark Ages with Ash. But it wasn't until the success of Darkman that they got the funding to do it. And even then, they had to take, I think, lose a considerable amount of their upfront salaries in order to allow for, like, the big final battle. So, yeah, this was kind of a movie that went by on a wing on a prayer, and it was originally supposed to be called, Medieval Dead?
Medieval Dead.
But the title was taken at the time, and...
Well, they, and also, the, Universal, I believe... It's Universal that, the logo's on screen right now.
Yeah,
so
they distributed the film.
I believe they were like, we don't really want to... Like, we want to kind of distance ourselves from the Evil Dead series, so we don't want to use that name. Come up with something else.
And hence, Army of Darkness.
Or the traditional title of Bruce Campbell versus the Army of Darkness.
Yeah. Because, he is Ash. But yeah, so without much further ado, my pick for 2015's October Halloween Horror Month, Army of Darkness. Chris, cue us up.
Yep. So, as per usual, we have the movie queued up and ready to go. The counter set to 0. As a disclaimer, we believe that this is the theatrical version. There are a couple different versions floating around out there with some scenes added in and taken out. I've tried to double check as much as possible. It's not actually labeled whether it's the theatrical version or one of the extended versions, so I'm sorry if it ends up not being so, but almost positive it's the theatrical version. So if you have that, cue it up, get it ready, pause this podcast, and then I'll give the traditional countdown and tell you to hit play. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. And we're off.
Off on the universal planet. Which I guess is Earth.
Yeah. Looks like Earth.
And it's got Africa.
It's got the Atlantic Ocean. South America. North America. Europe. Asia. I already said Africa. Don't forget Australia. And this opening scene is meant to kind of retcon the ending of Evil Dead 2, because in the original ending of Evil Dead 2, he does get sucked through the portal and end up in medieval times. Not the restaurant, but the actual time period. And he's celebrated as a hero because he kills a Deadite. But then the first thing you see here is him chained up. So he's explaining what happened, just in case you didn't see Evil Dead 2.
They filmed the majority of the exteriors next to the in the Mojave Desert.
Oh, and this is the first time that you ever see S-Mart.
Shop smart.
Supposed to be the Phantom.
Apparently, she was supposed to have a bigger role in this film. And there was originally supposed to be more of Ash in the cabin, but Raimi was like, we've seen him enough in the cabin.
Yeah. She also, pitched really hard to be in this movie. So they were like, fine, you can be Linda. Which is a shame because the girl that played Sheila hated being in this movie.
Oh, Embeth Davidtz?
Yeah.
Always a zoom in on Ash.
It's actually not a zoom in, that's a truck in.
Right. Just cut off your hand, Ash. That's probably my favorite sequence in 2.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I love that he he puts the bucket and then the stack of books, and the book is A Farewell to Arms.
Yeah, that's classic.
The Oldsmobile is a staple in Sam Raimi films.
Yep.
Even finds a way to get it into the Western and the Quick and the Dead.
But refuses to tell people where it is.
It's apparently a wagon chassis.
Yeah, I figured that's what it is. But last I heard, he won't himself admit.
Fun fact, that Oldsmobile is the catcher in For Love of the Game.
And there's Bruce Campbell.
Played by John C. Reilly.
Versus Army of Darkness. And I love the fact that it's, not Ash versus the Army of Darkness, but Bruce Campbell.
They filmed this multiple times. They have multiple takes of this because they had trouble with the crane to properly hook up the Oldsmobile the first couple takes.
And I like that you can clearly see the pads that he lands on.
Yeah.
And that was actual footage from the end of Evil Dead 2. This is newly shot for Army of Darkness. you can tell because the color treatment is completely different. In the end of Evil Dead 2, it was completely done in sepia, and this is full color.
Also, it's Sam Raimi in the end of Evil Dead 2 who has the speaking role.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Also, Ted Raimi plays about 3 or 4 characters in this movie.
At least 3, yeah.
It's a fun drinking game.
Discount Ryan Gosling. It always cracks me up. When in doubt, stab it with your sword. My favorite Ash look.
Yeah. You know, if only Back to the Future had done this, we wouldn't have had the Back to the Future 2 that we ended up having. You know, retconning what happened at the end of the last one.
Yeah.
Into the Pit by Testament. They just jam out when they listen to it.
Let's open up this pit!
Into the pit.
Interesting, a chainsaw. I haven't seen one of those in
Also,
1,000
Ash
years.
loses his gray streak in his hair, right? From seeing the Evil Dead in the end of the second one.
Yeah. Even though they showed the shot
Yeah.
of... Oh, no, there it is.
It's kind of there, but it's like really there in the end of Evil
Yeah.
Dead 2.
Yeah, he was definitely like Reed Richard.
Yeah, like you see
out.
it. Yeah.
I guess the medieval air is good for...
Yeah, I mean, the tone is different. Like you said, the color, you know.
Yeah.
It's not the sepia tone anymore.
The colors.
The colors, Duke. The colors.
I'm a colorblind kid.
There's a great mobile app that I had for the longest time on an iPad, on my iPad, where basically it's Army of Darkness, and you just fend off. It's kind of like a Castle Siege, but you unlock different things from the Evil Dead universe. It's a really fun, cool little game.
Like a tower defense game?
Kind of, but like you're Ash, like you control Ash, and you're inside this castle, and you can upgrade to have more like soldiers and
Oh, there she is.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Beth Davids.
Hated every day of this movie.
Really?
Seriously.
I did not know that.
Huh.
Peter Parker's mom
In The Amazing Spider-Man. 1 and
also
2.
has our birthday.
Yeah. Also, bangs Liam Neeson in Schindler's List.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why did you hate this movie so much?
I can't remember. It's been a long time.
Sam Raimi does love to manhandle his actors.
does,
It's
yeah.
true.
Case
but yeah,
in point.
yeah,
Kid spearing.
I was watching. Years ago, I watched this with commentary back when I had, the HD DVD and the working HD DVD player.
Yeah.
I watched it with commentary, and Sam, like, almost every time she was on the screen, Sam and Bruce were just like, "Oh my god, she hated being on set." Like, I think she didn't like working like a period piece or something like that, and I'm sure she just didn't get along with
Basically
Sam.
being like stock British actress.
Yeah. Maybe that's it. I always like that Ash is the first one in line, but not the first one thrown in the pit.
Yeah.
And that shirt goes through some shit.
Yeah. I was at New York Comic Con last year, and I saw a guy who was basically dressed up as this Ash, but he had like the Ash Ketchum hat.
Oh yeah.
And like
that's funny.
The chainsaw was a little bit different. And he and on his strap across his chest, he had a whole bunch of Pokeballs.
Nice.
That's such a Sam Raimi line. Jack and shit.
Those helmets rule.
Yeah.
Like all those like medieval helmets and stuff that you see, like they must have been designed so you couldn't see shit.
Like, look at that. They're, like, dangling them on the edge there. I love that shot. He just jumps in.
Yeah.
And then look at how much blood shoots up. Now?
There's that Evil Dead.
Ah, man, just like
Yeah.
Old Faithful.
It's like Johnny Depp. And,
Is that what you call your penis, Sam? When it shoots blood?
Yes. That's when it keeps the faith.
Like the movie Keeping the Faith?
Oh, yeah.
like the Billy Joel song?
That's
Such
another
a classic
very
Sam Raimi
Raimi-esque,
shot.
Yeah. All those POV shots.
Especially for things that don't actually have a POV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if Spider-Man had any. Coming up with no.
Yeah, I can't think of any off the top of my head.
You would think that, like, a web, you would have, like, shot web and, like, you follow the web trail.
Yeah, hell. Even The Amazing Spider-Man 2 had a web POV.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Sam. Raimi, not you.
Yeah, I didn't direct. If you guys want me to direct Spider-Man.
I'm up for it. You think that's a real soul patch, or is that blood?
Looks like blood.
Yeah.
Definitely discolored.
She was aiming for Sam Raimi when she threw that rock. Enough with this movie.
It's the first day of shooting, and I already fucking hate you
I'm
all.
barely going to be an Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Typical goofy Sam Raimi.
This is one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
If I remember correctly, Sam Raimi was saying, like, this was a really difficult day of shooting just because, like, they, were wet the entire day.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the suits were hard.
I hear the big thing about this film in Gesundheit. That wasn't in
Thank
the... this doesn't show up in this scene, per se, but Bruce Campbell had a lot of trouble with the fight choreography. Like, he would have to learn the number system, and they would have to take a lot of takes for a lot of his fight scenes.
Like how to count?
Yes, apparently that's his Achilles heel.
I do love the commentaries on these movies. Like, in the first Evil Dead, they have, like, Sam Raimi and everybody else, and they have just a solo Bruce Campbell commentary, and they're just making fun of each other on each other's commentaries.
Yeah.
And then, luckily for Evil Dead 2, they do it together, and it's, like, one of the greatest. Like, they're, like, up with Kurt Russell and John Carpenter for, like, just the chemistry they have when they're talking about the movies.
No, they're, like, best friends.
Oh, yeah.
Who are you whipping? Oh no, it's just like A New Hope,
Yeah.
except with spikes. I love this, how it just perfectly...
Yep.
Click.
Ashman.
Groovy, man.
How many pieces did she get cut into?
I just saw 2, but
Yeah.
you never know. You know, the
Mick
studio,
Jagger up
the
there.
big reason there were so many cuts to this movie, or at least one of the reasons, is Universal really wanted this to be PG-13. And so Sam Raimi tried to cut what he could, but it still wound up to be an R-rated film. But I guess the cuts stayed. Kind of looks like the troll thing from Big Trouble in Little China.
How the fuck does that work?
Raimi logic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Movie logic. Love Bruce Campbell's just ah. What's a shoelace?
The Who Wants Some? How many lines of Evil Dead did Duke Nukem pilfer?
Like all of them.
Picks the bug-eyest man in the town.
Why didn't you fight him? Shut up!
Or I'll do Gordon.
Dude, your breath is terrible.
Everyone's breath is
To
terrible.
be fair, nobody there knows what good breath is, so
Fair point. It's really a wonder that all these people have all their teeth.
yeah.
And they're so white and straight.
I love this.
It's a real thing.
I know, but just like he's like, okay, about it.
Where'd he get his gun? One of the most quoted lines.
I will say, over all the Evil Dead movies, this one easily has the best lines by far.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's 3 shots without reloading on a 2-shot shotgun.
I mean, he never reloads. Like, you watch fucking the end. You will get there.
Well, yeah. The funny thing is, just like with the amount of comedy, the amount of realism it changes throughout the movies as well. Like in the first movie, he reloads every 2 shots. In the second one, it's a little fuzzy.
Every now and again. Yeah.
But in this one, I'm pretty sure you only ever see him reload once.
Yeah, like convenient. Like just almost to remind you that
just
it has
because
to
it
be.
looks cool in that scene for him to like crack it and have the shells fly.
I hate being in this movie.
I'm all slutted up too.
Apparently there was a deleted scene where they have a love scene together.
Me. Uh-oh. Someone's water broke. Ugh. This is a throwback to one of a shot that's used in both Evil Deads too, where they just have a flying deadite going, "No, you're gonna die! Blah. Swallow your soul." Dead by dawn.
Peekaboo.
Take that movie trope. How many stews did she have cooking?
Oh, God, soup, my one weakness.
That's 3.
They really like soup.
And then that's 4 shots. There's the reload. I used that line in my zombie night theater. Well, I called the character she bitch. That's 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot,
and
4. Now, granted, they... I love that. Granted, they do have the sound effect of a pump action being cocked, which would be a reload.
yeah. But it's clearly
But
not
that
a
is-
pump action.
No.
I have to say, by Army of Darkness, he is a fucking professional at taking out deadites.
True dat.
In the first movie, he's getting his ass kicked.
This movie, he's kicking ass. Zoom.
I hate being in this movie.
Zoom.
Jesus Christ, Chris.
Zoom. Okay, it's done. For now, I'm pretty sure there's at least one more scene like
I
that.
think we get the point.
I just wanted to make sure everyone knew that their DVDs were synced up. I missed the first Zoom, by the way. It's a staple Sam Raimi thing.
I know. I'm aware. I feel like the love scene between the two of them happened like right around here.
Yeah, this is the "Give Me Some Sugar, Baby" scene, so I imagine this would be where the love scene is.
Continues on.
Yeah.
Did the HD DVD have the deleted scenes?
Yeah. Well, it had the theatrical version and the extended version,
Oh, okay.
which had most of the deleted scenes thrown back in, I believe. Stuff.
I love that in present day he puts a chainsaw on his hand, but in the medieval times he gets, the fake hand.
Right, the robot hand.
Yeah. The Luke Skywalker hand.
I feel like that was Bruce Campbell being like, I don't want to wear a chainsaw for an entire movie.
Yeah.
Can't imagine why. It's badass.
That was an actual hit, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure
that was her letting out her aggression for being in this movie.
Bare-chested Bruce Campbell, best Bruce Campbell.
Yep. Simpson likes girls.
You ever watch The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr.?
No.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It was a sci-fi western with emphasis on western.
Yeah.
Unlike Firefly, which was a sci-fi western with emphasis on sci-fi.
Only ran for a season, starring Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, it was like, 13 episodes?
I feel like it's what he did right after this.
Yeah.
This was originally supposed to come out pretty quickly, but because of all the production delays and stuff, like it didn't come out until like 92 or 93.
I believe 92.
They're at the Vasquez Rocks, where many
Hey.
a Star Trek film takes place. And many episode of the original series.
One of these days, we're going to make a pilgrimage out there.
I would love to. Oh, God, yeah.
We're going to film something out there.
Klaatu Brada Nick 2 being a reference to the original Day the Earth Stood Still.
Gort, Klaatu Virata Nikto. Also appears in the first Tron movie.
When?
It's like a bumper sticker up on the wall in the cubicle farm.
Oh.
I believe what's the name? The guy that programmed Tron originally has it in his cubicle.
Bruce Boxleiter.
Sure.
Remember the Keanu Reeves one?
Oh, Day the Earth Stood Still.
Earth dies, you die. You die, the Earth survives. They say that line, like he technically says the line in the movie, but it's so muddled by like destruction. It's more of this like robotic thing, blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
that
eating
you
stuff apart.
really have to listen.
It was pretty clear in the trailer.
Well, that's the trailer. In the movie, it's like you really got to listen for it.
What is it, boy? You afraid of mist?
I love that. We never really see
What this is?
what chases him.
Don't you see it at the end of Evil Dead 2 when the door busts open and it's like that giant monster thing with all the...
No, that's not what that thing is, because that's the that's
Are you sure? Because like
the
it goes
corporealization of it.
Because like it's like doing this, and then it like hits the door, and then immediately the door is open, and that's on the other side of the door. I always thought that was it.
Oh, that right there, or is that a thing that's in Evil Dead 2? It was either that like last tree to split, or there's some part in Evil Dead 2 that like people think they see a face, but it's but like Sam Raimi in the commentary was like, it's not a face, it's just a part of the tree that is like discolored. That's a dumb tidbit of information anyway. So who cares whether I got it wrong or not? The windmill.
The site where the darkest shit in the movie happens.
Yeah. I love how doors are the one thing that stop this thing in this movie.
How many shots do we get of Bruce Campbell in all three movies, like just screaming, holding something back, or just screaming in general?
It's like half the movie.
Yeah.
By the way, you're welcome. I didn't, shout out every zoom in that scene.
All our listeners are thanking you profusely. As is the windmill. That's why it stopped turning. It's like, sigh of relief.
Gotta warm his other hand.
Oh, I didn't do that. Mirrors. I've never had good luck with mirrors.
He's never had good luck in his life.
Yeah.
He had good luck with Linda.
I mean, if you can land a date with Bridget Fonda, well done.
Yeah. And
this is where all those fake shemps come into play.
yeah.
Sam Raimi name all the doubles fake shemps based off of the fake shemps from the latter Three Stooges period with Shemp.
Yeah. And almost all the miniature Ashes are body doubles. Occasionally there will be one singled out like this guy who will be actually played by Bruce Campbell. And all these shots done by the miracle of, what was it, forward projection?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what the intravision is, which is a technique that... Because most times they do like this kind of thing, it's rear projection. But this is front projection.
I always loved this. Like, for no reason at all, he's just singing London Bridges. And even Sam Raimi said that he wrote that in the script, or no, like didn't write it in the script and just had Bruce do it on the day. And Bruce is like, "Why? I don't. Why would that happen?" Sam Raimi's just like, "Trust me, it's gonna look great." So he did, because they're like best friends and they've been best friends for like ever. And then some Gulliver, fucking hell. Then some Gulliver travel shit happens. And here's where it gets fucked up.
So if Ash, for every miniature Ash that Ash swallows, does that result in a giant-sized evil Ash?
Well, I think it's just because he, as we're about to see, drinks the hot water. Like, I like to believe that it's because he added water.
Oh, Gremlin style?
Yeah. Or like, grow a dinosaur sponge style.
I used to have those.
How fucked up do you have to be like, you know what? I'm going to drink piping hot water.
Yeah, I mean, how often does Bruce Campbell, Ash, torture himself over the course of these movies?
I want to say he tortures himself more than anyone else tortures him.
In the original script, he was supposed, just like he lost his hand in Evil Dead 2, he was supposed to lose an eye in Army of Darkness.
Ugh.
Oh, it looks like a vagina.
Labia majora, labia minora, and eyeball.
Eyeball.
Typical vagina.
Yeah, you guys have never seen that before?
No.
No.
I guess I've never seen a vagina. Or a vagina has never seen me.
That was good. I'll give you that.
Thank you.
I'll forgive you for the zooms for that. It's another Three Stooges reference.
What the action that just happened, not what
the eye
was
poke. Yeah.
And that's a dummy.
The fuck out
Just
of here.
like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy BBC miniseries. That's how they did Zaphod Beeblebrox's second head. For close-ups, it was a separate actor, and for wide shots, it was a dummy head. Actually, no, it might have been a dummy head the entire time, and it was like puppeteered for close-ups. I love this shit too. Just dancing around, mocking him.
Doing a jig.
Now, one way to make sure that you have the right version that we're watching is the line he just said on our version was, "Good, bad, I'm the one with the gun." In the extended version, he says, "I'm not all good," or something along those lines.
I'm not that good.
Not that good. So if he just said, "Good, bad, I'm the one with the gun," we're good. Otherwise, you'll have to start this over.
Sorry. Yeah, how fucked is this? Like, shit gets dark.
Yeah. He's essentially cutting himself into pieces. And the windmill has started moving again.
He did start a fire.
Billy
That started
Joe.
wind.
Yes. Can't start a fire.
Dancing with the Dark. Dancing in the Dark.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not the lyrics to "We Didn't Start the Fire."
Yeah. I was going Springsteen, not Joel.
Dance, 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 dancing in the dark. No, that's like a house dance song now.
Sounds like Liam Neeson.
It's dirt.
You know Raimi was the one that totally dirted.
And they probably did that take many times.
Yeah.
Funny, even Evil Ash is Christian.
He didn't get to pick his headstone.
That is a nice thing that I liked about the Walking Dead TV show. There was a scene where they were burying people, and little Coral was making crosses for the headstones, and was like, "Hey, is this person a Christian?" And another character was like, "Actually, they were pretty staunch atheist." And you just hear Coral snap the two sides of the cross, and then just puts in just like a vertical stick. I thought that was cute, addressing that. Because even I was like, they're just kind of blindly putting crosses on as, these headstones.
Howdy.
Sweet, I'm glad there were no booby traps to getting these books. Ah, shit, there's multiple books to choose from. And our hero's dead.
Roll credits.
Shot in reverse to make it look weirder. Oh, Craig Ferguson.
I was gonna say Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
I mean, at this-
in Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
At this point, it's straight up Looney Tunes. Now he looks like Al Pacino.
yeah.
And Cruising.
Oh, I was in Cruising.
Now he's definitely Al Pacino and Cruising. Okay, he's back to
I see what you're playing. Clever. Why would you hold the book like that? And that, folks, is why I don't read. Nuh.
Necktie is probably as close as he got.
Yeah. Not that inward, though.
That's why he looks around.
I said it. We had this trailer back when I was doing Rocky Horror. We had the trailer for this movie running in front of Rocky Horror, and we would, just like we would do callbacks during the show and make jokes, we would also do callbacks during the trailers. And it had that shot where he goes Klaatu Barata Nicaragua, and I would always make the joke, "You just said the N-word," and I was the only one that laughed because I'm the only one that thinks that that's funny. Just like just now, when none of you guys backed me up. None of you listeners.
We were all laughing hysterically, just not near the microphone.
Yeah. Or being visual about it. Have we seen Ted Raimi yet? I feel like we were supposed to have seen him by now. But I don't remember seeing him.
I feel like he doesn't show up until the final battle and then in the epilogue.
And he's like 10 people.
Yeah.
He's everyone.
I do love the kind of nod to Clash of the Titans. Or not Clash of the Titans, Jason and the Argonauts.
Clash of the Titans kind of had it too.
It did have a skeleton, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. How gross is that?
There's that one like tapping on his shoulder in the background, like, "Hey, Bruce."
I feel like this
Does this bother you?
Yeah.
Does this bother you?
I feel like it's right around here that he was supposed to lose his eye.
Well, there is this, or not that.
It's just coming up everywhere.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
even up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah. That's another. I mean,
Ooh.
The skeletons steal the show, man. They're the best part of this
oh
movie.
god, yeah. This is like I will always crack up to screaming skeletons.
Well, the last time I watched this was like, probably a year or so ago with you, and we were like in hysterics when the skeletons come up.
Come on, you mangy bag of bones.
Yeah. He's like, "Come on, yeah."
Like in the deal. Oh,
I love the makeup
Voorhees
and
style.
prosthetics on this. That's so cool.
I live again.
Technically, he never really died. I mean, he's clearly cracking wise.
The dirt did not do him any favors in healing those wounds.
I mean, they must like decompose like a motherfucker in like Dark Age times.
Well, there was a lot more bacteria back then.
Yeah.
A lot less, penicillin.
That's Spinach chin. What a haircut. Looks like Steve Perry from Journey.
I was about to say the same damn thing.
Unibrow and all.
Yeah. It's like discount Ryan Gosling with Steve Perry.
So Ryan Gosling
If they got
had
together
sex.
and fucked.
Yeah.
This guy with Mr. Fu Manchu mustache.
Discount Charlie Bronson.
And Beth David's hating every second of being in this movie.
Yeah.
that was her face realizing that she still had several weeks of filming left.
Oh, I'm going to have to have a more prominent role and wear like makeup and do wire work.
I hate this movie. God, I hate this movie. This is her talking to Sam Raimi about her compensation for being in this movie.
It's the look of a hero.
Should we shoot arrows at it? No, just cower in fear. Okay. Aren't we used to this shit? Yeah, probably, but just cower in fear.
It's like Green Goblin-esque shit before Sam Raimi worked with Green Goblin.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't shoot now that he has, the thing has a hostage. Should have shot well before.
Yeah, don't shoot when he's flying at us. Shoot when he's flying away. Oh, okay. Damn yous all to hell.
You did it. You bastards finally did it. I feel like he takes the loss of Sheila a lot more seriously than the loss of Linda.
Yeah. If you think about it, that was just like a day or two ago for him, too.
Yeah. And then like all the comic books that are all the comic books that are like sequels to this, like it's like half of it is about trying to find and rescue Sheila, and like, fuck Linda.
It's so dumb.
You know that Sam and Ted Raimi provided the voices for most of those
Oh, yeah.
films.
Oh yeah.
So cool.
You are my number one guy.
She probably wasn't a fan of this scene either.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hey, more winches.
I forget what they do with those girls.
They don't do anything.
They just kind of have them.
Yeah.
Maybe it was something else that was deleted for time and editing. Because they don't really capitalize on that. They just have wenches.
They're like, it'd be great, topless girls.
Worked for Nightmare 3. My lord, the people want to hear you sing separate ways.
Yes. One day, my lord, love will find you.
And break those chains that
I
bind you. There's
Yeah.
Ted Raimi.
Yep.
There's Ted Raimi again. There's Ted Raimi again. I mean, it's the same character.
My lord, the wheel in the sky keeps turning.
I will not stop believing.
That's right.
And hold on to that feeling.
Baby. With open arms, my lord. With open arms. And when the lights go down in the city, we shall attack forward, my lord.
Ted Raimi. It's a different character.
Different wig and fake beard. Fu Manchu Man's in.
Fu Manchu Man. The deepest voice he's ever had.
And my
It'd be funny if they like panned back and Ted Raimi was in a different wig.
Yeah, just a different outfit.
Same shot though. I wouldn't have put it past Sam Raimi to do that.
Yes.
Oh boy, skeletons. The best skeleton.
I just gotta warn you guys, it's just gonna be me laughing for the rest of the movie.
That's fine.
Not much commentary from
I'm
me.
pretty sure
sorry.
Sam Raimi was hoping for something like that. Kind of looks like Zoe Deschanel when she doesn't have makeup on.
Oh man.
Who's that girl?
Yeah. It's just
Did they just say something about their assholes? Sam?
Yes. To the asshole. Yeah.
Sam's charge whenever he's about to have sex.
That's why it's my favorite Evil Dead movie, guys.
I love how he just happens to have a Chemistry 101 textbook.
And something about
Fangoria
steams.
magazine.
Yeah.
Well, of course. They fucking loved the Evil Dead movies.
Also, there was a Dark Horse Comics book in there which has the first Sin City story by Frank Miller.
I'm surprised that there wasn't some sort of reference to a Wes Craven movie in his trunk. Because there was that whole thing in the first Evil Dead movie. There was like a reference to
Was it
the last house on the left. And then in...
Or Hills Have Eyes, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, The Hills Have Eyes. And then in one of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, I think the first one, Johnny Depp's character is watching The Evil Dead. So then in Evil Dead 2, they have Freddy's glove in the basement.
And they said it was their way of saying, like, oh, you think, like, what's going on in that universe is awful? No, that's fiction and not real. What's going on in our universe is way scarier and way more horrifying. They kept going back. Yeah, exactly.
If I remember correctly, that kung fu move doesn't help too much.
No.
Like, they kind of get fucked up hard.
Yeah.
By screaming skeletons.
Oh, it's so
Stands
good.
in front of the moon
so
and makes
excited.
good.
This battle, I'll be honest with you guys, this battle is probably the entire reason
Sam's
I picked this.
pants are off and dick in hand.
Both hands.
This is basically what the entire game is on that mobile app. Like, they're trying to get the Book of the Dead, and you just, fight them off.
Wave after wave.
It's really awesome, yeah. We're starting already.
First shot.
But they have no lungs.
I know,
But they
it's
have
so
beards.
good.
And sunglasses by the looks. Well, kind of look like sunglasses.
All the foreground skeletons are puppets. A lot of the background skeletons. And these guys with the shields are men in suits.
Yeah. Just jamming out.
Yeah. Why are you just now raising the drawbridge? Because that shot looked cool there.
I can't wait for some skeletons to fight it out.
That guy holding the torch is really selling it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
The hissing skeleton.
I like how you guys commented that, like, the skeletons have no lungs. They also have no muscles or skin or anything that would allow them to
Eyes.
be ambulatory.
Yeah.
Something about they're just so funny.
It's for me. I think it's like when they're like,
Well,
hit
just
by
think-
like the explosive arrows. And
Hey, you can
stuff.
see the guy's eyes through the
Eyes,
skull.
yeah.
Yeah, just the cracking wise of
Yeah.
the skeletons.
Oh,
And
and
like
like
when
for sore bones.
When they were in peril, they're just like, "Bah!"
Once the Oldsmobile reappears, I lose my shit.
Yeah.
Kind of look like Tommy Wiseau in that shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of sounds like Tommy Wiseau.
Not as vaguely Eastern European.
No, you can actually understand what he's saying.
Everybody betray me. Fed up with this world.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
In a few minutes, bitch.
Come on, Jake.
No.
Errol's? The store?
Errol Flynn. No, Errol's the old email. system.
Oh yeah, jeez.
My parents used to love buying things at Errol's.
Oh God.
Do we wait to explode or do we fire it before we explode? I don't remember.
I think we wait to explode.
Why did we wait this long after lighting them?
You gotta wait until they're in range.
But you could have lit them later.
Shh. They have a really long fuse.
So good. That would take it right in the mouth.
One wasn't even lit. Hey, that one had guts.
That might be my favorite.
He's on fire. No, my favorite is well, yeah, we'll get there.
I mean, you can see some of them clearly aren't even fucking wearing skeleton stuff.
No.
Yeah.
Just like wearing black velvet. Just like the Invisible Man.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how people can see right through him.
That's right.
Those don't look like they got enough height to get over the wall. How do people make skeletons look scary?
That ain't cheap armor, man.
You see the thing that flipped him up. What? What?
Oh. That's a front projection right there. That's how they're able to do that stop motion.
Is it?
It usually takes place in the background, but for this, they did it in the front.
He said buttress the door.
They've got Fu Manchu Sinbad leading the charge there.
Fuck the cameraman.
There's your Xena Warrior Princess scream.
Yeah, which Sam Raimi produced.
He did.
And Bruce Campbell was featured in as a regular character every once in a while.
Ted Raimi, I think, would show up every once in a while,
Yeah,
too.
Ted Raimi was Joxer.
Right, yeah.
I want to say that Bruce Campbell was Ares, but I feel like I've been corrected on that.
I don't think he is, but I could be wrong. I haven't seen that show in quite some time. Though it is all on Netflix. Maybe I'll revisit it.
Yeah, maybe I'll finally watch it. Since I do love Sam Raimi. Oh, here's your martial arts.
I'll check out the first line, and that's about it.
That's all it's really good for. Show and taking out one row.
You specifically protect the book.
You know, the job that was the main purpose of
the entire thing. Now, here it is.
That is one of the upgrades you can unlock in the in the iPad game, and it's like the most powerful thing, obviously.
How do you stop from killing your own people, though?
That's a risk they're willing to take.
Yeah. Tell them to clear.
They're all pawns. Oh, it's steam powered.
Steampunk Ash Williams. Hopefully those were skeletons.
Uh-oh. She's still in this movie.
I'm still hating it.
I hate this movie. She's like, just kill me now so I don't have to be in this movie.
Please run me over with your Oldsmobile.
Why did he jump out? And how did it come back at her? Too many questions.
You caress my face when you yourself ask too many questions.
No one knows what you're talking about.
Enough to take me on hearsay. The best say.
At this point, Sam was literally just
Nightfall.
throwing skeletons at him.
Yeah.
Right in my Achilles shoulder. All right, so this was another part that I was worried about people not having the right version because Henry the Red just showed up with his backup. And I don't remember that being in the theatrical version.
I always thought it did, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. So, again, I mean, if you've made it this far, might as well just
stick it out.
Yeah, and hope that what we're saying makes sense. And, yeah. But, I mean, if it's in your version, cool. Just let it keep going.
That's always how I remember them, like, ending the Deadite threat. Or at least turning the tide of battle.
Yeah. Maybe it happens at, like, a different time or, like, more fighting happens in the extended version.
I think in the extended there's definitely more climactic battle stuff.
I mean, yeah, I read that there's, like, 15 minutes added, and most of it's during this battle scene.
I hope most of it's screaming skeletons, in which case I need to get the extended edition.
I think this is my favorite skeleton death coming up. Yep, this is definitely it.
Catch your
The look right here. Hey, where'd he go?
Cut your gizzard. What the hell is a gizzard?
I don't know.
Is that your
I don't
throat?
know. My mom always used to get like chicken gizzards, which I always thought tasted like ass.
Makes sense why you love ass so much now.
Yeah, yeah. But still no love for gizzards.
Just dudes in suits.
Such a boss now.
Bitches always be holding you down.
And hating being in this movie.
Yeah, she thinks she has to be in a lot of makeup. What about this dude? Who I'm pretty sure is not Bruce Campbell.
Certainly not for this part of it now.
Ugh. You got real ugly.
I've been in this movie!
Are you calling me fat? Oh no, I just killed my girlfriend of one day. Ugh.
It's like Jet Li in Lethal Weapon 4.
He gets killed like 3 times.
Yeah.
Shit, I shouldn't have brought a stick to a knife fight. Stupid. I feel like that would have been a perfect place for the Wilhelm scream. That guy falling down. Didn't have it. I imagine this was probably part of the problem where he had trouble with the choreography.
Oh, it took him like 30
that
some
sword fight.
Yeah, it took him like 30 some takes.
Especially two-handed sword fight.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm pretty good at, like, stage fighting, and I can't do two-handed sword. Oh no, I've been penetrated. Again. Another thing that Sam Stone says regularly. The music stopped. You mean the book that the bad guy has?
Yeah, he didn't drop it, did he?
Actually, I guess he hasn't grabbed it yet.
Oh, they started fighting right before.
Again, Sam Raimi just throwing skeletons at him.
Little Three Stooges sound effect with a hit.
Luckily, he landed on that pile of dirt.
No, he's holding the book by the looks of it. Yeah.
Well, he just grabbed it.
He sounded like he had some fun with that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that definitely didn't have the super long fight scene with Henry the Red. So, touche. Oh yeah, even though she died, she gets to come back and live. Oh god, I'm still in this movie. Oh, the paycheck. Wow, her hair got really crappy.
I feel like that was a completely different shot.
Yeah. Looks like she went from being perfectly bathed and showered to having gone and run 3 miles in the heat.
In the hot California desert.
The hot, hot heat. The ripping and the tearing. Brought it back.
Let's kiss.
We won't sick our army of Ted Raimis against each other. Wait, did he just say that's me? Ugh, holding a book like that is the worst. I used to have to do that when I was an altar boy at church. And just sit there and hold a book like that for like 5 minutes. It gets really tiring. Especially since all the priests were really short, so I had to hold it like all the way down.
We never actually see him go back to present day. That's because this scene was filmed weeks after Principal Photography ended.
Yeah, because they had a different ending originally where he accidentally goes,
There's
Ted
Raimi."
Raimi again. He actually mistakenly goes to the wrong time period.
Yeah, the movie wanted it to end on a high note, or the studio wanted it to end on a high note instead of a downer.
Which, I believe, if I remember correctly, is a featured scene at the end of the credits, which makes up for, we were talking earlier today, makes up for my telling you, or you telling me about the Super Mario Brothers ending that I didn't know about, and you didn't know that that was an alternate ending at the end of the credits, although you did know it existed.
But yeah, this was all filmed in a lumber store in Southern California. Yeah, you wanted lack of reloading. Here you go.
Yeah, I'm not even going to bother counting, but I think that thing would hold like 6 shots, maybe
Yeah.
8 at best. What a badass shirt to have at the back, underneath.
It's like a sheriff shirt. And there ends Army of Darkness. One of the greats.
It's a fun
So you
one.
want to stick around and
Yeah.
see if that scene's there?
I don't think it is, but we'll go ahead and stick around. You'll notice that the movie was written by Sam Raimi and Ivan Raimi, yet another Raimi brother. It was originally supposed to be co-written by Scott Spiegel, who co-wrote Evil Dead 2, and I think the first one, but he was busy polishing some other script, so he couldn't come back. If I remember correctly, Sam Raimi, he's still friends with Scott Spiegel, and he's the guy that Spider-Man steals the slice of pizza from at the beginning of Spider-Man 2.
Oh.
There's Intravision, which provided the stop-motion effects for this film.
It's Bill Pope. He provided the photography director.
Director of photography, in fact.
Yeah.
And Danny Elfman, because he's fucking everywhere.
He is everywhere fucking.
Usually Tim Burton. And Greg Nicotero, who does the makeup for The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Yep. I believe got his start on Evil Dead 2.
Good for him.
There's a great documentary not documentary, but they kind of film like behind the scenes stuff when they're doing making the movie. And they still refer to it on that one of the documentaries I saw about him, about some really great times in their lives, starting out and testing all kinds of stuff and making monsters. One of the tiny ashes was named Bruce. That must have been really confusing.
Hey, Bruce. What? No, not you, Bruce. The other Bruce.
There's all the fake champs, including Ivan Raimi.
Camera people. Go you. My people.
I think the alternate future ending, or where he wakes up in the distant post-apocalyptic future, was still the theatrical ending in Europe, like overseas.
Yeah.
Where they don't mind about having downer endings.
I mean, to be fair, I prefer the happier ending myself.
Yeah, I mean, as much as when we talked about horror films in a podcast back last year, I remember saying, hey, I really like it when horror movies kind of have that ending where you don't feel safe, like there is no happy ending. But I do consider this a horror film, but not straight up like we're going to make you shit your pants with fear and excitement. Horror. So I'm cool with it. And I actually, like you, Chris, I actually prefer the ending they stuck with for the U.S. theatrical version.
It is a classic Ash thing to do, though.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
And that's
Too
why
many
Raimi
drops,
wanted to do
which
it.
I think I didn't know about that ending. I guess you call it the original ending when I first saw this movie, and I actually preferred that they had that in there. I like that ending.
I want to say that I just accidentally stumbled upon it once because I left the DVD player running, just like the ending of Constantine. I had no idea that there was an alternate ending
I love
or
that movie.
an after. Yeah, me too.
I really
I didn't know there was an after credit scene in Constantine, and I just had it running one day, and it was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And I swear the same thing happened with Army of Darkness. So then my friends and I watched Evil Dead 2 again. Watched it all the way through the credits because this was back in VHS days. It wasn't that easy to just skip to the end.
Mm-hmm.
So we watched that to see if the alternate ending was there for that led into this. It wasn't. So don't. Oh hey, Tom wait, never mind. Tom Sullivan. I thought it was Tom Savini who did the makeup for.
randomly in
Dawn of the Dead.
Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Yeah, yeah.
Is
he's
he?
He's the shop teacher.
Shop teacher.
Weird.
Does a good job.
He does.
So it's a nice place. Does a good job.
To be fair, Perks takes place in Pittsburgh, as does most of Romero's films.
That's true. Good point.
Good point. Good point. He also directed the Night of the Living Dead remake in the 90s.
Yeah.
Which is actually a pretty decent remake.
Yeah. Payroll, good people. Skywalker Sound, all right. I mean, like, everyone goes through Skywalker Sound now.
Filmed in Acton, California, right outside the Mojave Desert.
Okay, here we go. Coming to the end. Let's see if it's here.
Well,
Oh, no,
sorry,
it's
guys.
Not on ours.
but yeah, YouTube it. Look for the alternate ending to Army of Darkness, and you'll see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Should be good. You can make the call whether you prefer it or not, and let us know in the comments
Yeah.
or on Twitter and all that jazz.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my pick for this year's October Halloween horror month. Next up will be something from either Chris or Jake. I don't know which specifically, but you'll find out.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I'll find out before you. So, bye.
Bye.
Have a good one.